morning. I think the main concern today is about Ukraine, and will we decide on how we will finance Ukraine in 2026 and 2027? I think the best option, sure, is to use frozen assets. Sure, there are other options as well, but I think it's very important for Europe as well to show determination, and that Europe can decide what we want to do, how we will help Ukraine. So, as well, today will be a discussion about MFF. I know that today there are farmer protests, as well as Latvian farmers are protesting today because they are not satisfied with the Commission's proposal. But I think the Commission has worked hard, so I probably will see them. And we really understand that our farmers want something differently, but today it's just the beginning of the negotiations of MFF, so I suppose there will be still a lot to discuss. But for me, it's important that we can show our decisiveness today about Ukraine. It's very important for Ukrainians as well as for Europeans, and for those negotiations which are going on with US and Russia, that Europe are a partner here. I think it's very important for ourselves as well. Sorry? The last chance for Ukraine? Is not the last chance for Ukraine, but we really have to find a decision. Frozen assets are not the only one. There could be a loan which could be decided as Europe's overall, but it's needed unanimously to decide. So we don't know. We still don't have Hungary on our part, but I think it's important that we can support Ukraine, because those negotiations for peace are just ongoing, but still there is no peace in the nearest future yet.
Is the revision the only viable option, Prime Minister, and do you think you can convince Belgium?
I think frozen assets are not the only option, but it's the best option for two reasons. So to show ourselves, this is really like a good financial option. Second, there are so many legal aspects which has been already decided. It will not have an influence on our debts. Third, we need to show as well our parts that we are able to decide, and if with those move, we can show as well Russia that we are able to decide, and we are strong partners, that Europe is really decisive and Europe knows what to do. So therefore, it's not just a legal aspect, financial aspect, but as well political aspects that we can make this decision. But sure, there are other options as well. The main issue is we need the result. What will be those finances which we can provide for Ukraine in 26 and 27? I think yes, as well for Latvia as an eastern border country. This week we had an Eastern Flank Summit in Helsinki, because we have been seeing hybrid attacks on our borders constantly since many years already, and we we really think that Europe needs to think differently on migration policy. We really need to defend our own citizens as a first part and as a priority, and we really need a good sending back policy, because now if there are terrorism or there are criminal cases, if we are not able to do anything about those people which are not even citizens of Europe, it's not good, because we really need to find a solution here, because we need to protect our citizens. That's our duty, and therefore I'm very active on that. I'm for changing migration policy, because what we thought is asylum seeker in 1945 is not the same in 2025.
Prime Minister, enlargement also on agenda. You know the Georgian people continue to fight for European future. So what will be your message to Georgian people? And in the context of enlargement, what's your position?
For Georgian people, I think there are like two ways. Georgian people, politicians as well can change, and power belongs to people in any country. at least in Europe, and Georgia is Europe. So therefore, I think for Georgian people, you really don't need to lose hope. We have gone, all of us, as well Georgia, through Soviet times, and we get free afterwards because people decided so. No one politician can decide instead of people, instead of society. So therefore, if society will keep strong, will keep the hope and their orientation towards values of Europe and democracy, you will succeed. I believe it.
Prime Minister, what does it need to convince Belgium to an agreement on frozen assets?
You know, it's a good question. What does it need? Is Belgium really convincible? But I think there will be negotiations today as well. I really understand their legal issues, what they're raising up. Sure that there could be consequences, but we already have agreed that not just Belgium, but other countries which hold Russia's centralized bank assets as well will participate. For example, my government and my parliament already has a decision in our budget that in case if we will need to do something like to give back this money, we have this authorization. So it means Belgium actually, sure, are in a very sensitive place, but it is as well a question of political will, not just legal aspects, because in any political decision there is always a legal aspects, but we are politicians. We are the ones who are making the rules as well. So we have to figure out how this political decision, which is very much needed, not just for Ukraine, but as well for Europe, how we can decide it. Thank you.
Prime Minister, Russia and US officials today this week talked about Ukraine peace plan. Do you think Europe is being cut out of the process?
Sorry?
Do you think Europe is being cut out of the Ukraine peace process?
You know, I don't think so, because in a Monday there was a meeting with European leaders and Americans and Ukrainians, and it was really a good meeting where we can say that Europe and America now really are with Ukraine on the same page, if I may say so, very simply. But sure, there's so many aspects because no one really knows what really in the end will be the results. But it's a diplomatic way, it's a political way how we will need to go to the results, because Ukraine really wants peace. And every day there are people who have been killed, children, innocent women and children. So it's painful to watch how long it takes, but it looks like we are much farther to the peace than ever before. So yes, this meeting is needed between Ukraine, US and Russia. But sure, as well, European leaders are participating, and we always have a coalition of willing meetings where we are informing each other what to do next. So it's not an easy process, but I really understand that there are aspects which are not, very positive from our perspective. But as well, Europe needs to decide as well on frozen assets or financing for Ukraine. That as well can give us a good card to be on those negotiations. Thank you.
Do you think European credibility is on the line in this debate today? How much do you think the divisions have been sort of emphasised by the way this has gone?
Divisions?
Divisions in Europe. Disagreements.
Disagreements. You know, I'm probably always try to find something positive about even very bad situations. And I don't think this is a situation where we cannot find a solution. There are many options on the table, probably two of them for if you speak about Ukraine. The first one, and I think the best option, is to use the frozen assets as well to show a strategic move towards that Europe can decide, and Europe is able to decide and to show a little bit of red flag to Russia, it could be really a strategic and political move towards those negotiations which will be held on Sunday in Miami. But there are other options to use like a Europe's loan, which is as well one opportunity, but we need unanimously decide it. But the most important is to find a solution for Ukraine, how we will finance what they need in 2026-27, because Nevertheless, negotiations for peace are here, but peace is not yet in Ukraine. We can see it every day.
So is this a message then to the US as well, that Europe is not, as Trump said, weak and decaying?
I don't feel myself very weak, probably because we all live in a border country with Russia and Belarus, and I know how our society really feels about those situations, and we know that Russia always uses some legal aspects, but we have to be a little bit smarter than that. And if we will play by rules, it doesn't mean Russia will play by rules. So we have to find new rules how we can get the situation solved. That's why we are politicians, and that's why we really need to make a decision here. And I believe Europe can do it because, from other aspect, Putin never estimated Europe be so united as we are, and we have been pretty much united. And sure, there are negotiations which will take place today because many countries has very sensitive issues, but I think we will have a decision.
And how much is the rhetoric coming out of the White House of Ukraine and the criticism of Europe? How much is it ramped up?
I think the most important is not the criticism is something which is driving us, but Ukraine is Europe, and we are Europe, and our citizens live in Europe, and more than anything, we all understand that we need to secure peace in Europe. We need to secure that our citizens don't need to wake up every morning to read news. Is there some drones coming over our space or not? We really need to find a solution for peace negotiations for ourselves, more than anything else. Thank you.